Well, all right, welcome back. We are going to have another interview here. I want to at least try to do one of these once a month. I've got Mark Clifton here in the next hopefully couple of weeks. But right now, presently, we got Lee Riley. One of the main things that got me into music. So, Lee Riley, tell everyone about yourself and who you are and um, where you grew up and how you got into music to where you are now.
Okay. Like you said, my name is Lee Riley. I'm from Gadsden, Alabama. Grew up, and I started music at an early age. I had my family. My family was. I mean, everyone in my family was. Couldn't escape being a musician. My mom played piano. My dad was he's an amazing guitarist, and I was the youngest of four boys, and all my brothers played music. At 6 years old, actually at 3 years old, I started playing piano. My mom put me in piano lessons, even though she was a great pianist. She put me in piano lessons at 3, so from about 3 to 6, I played piano, and I don't know, at 6 years old, I don't know if I got bored with that, but I seen my brothers and my dad playing guitar, and that's what I wanted to do. So, my dad, he started showing me chords. My hands had just got big enough to make a chord around the neck of the guitar, and I started playing guitar at 6, and with the influence of him and my brothers, my dad played more country and western. He was more, played Merle Haggard and George Jones, Waylon Jennings, those guys. But my brothers were more into the 70s rock, Kiss and Deep Purple and Ted Nugent, stuff like that. And so I was learning all this country, and then I was learning all this rock and roll, and I was kind of just by the time I was, I don't know, 13, 14 years old, I kind of had my own style by that point. But and also at that age, I kind of got bored with the guitar, and I can remember telling my dad, I said, I know I've not went as far as I can on the guitar, but I'm bored with it. He said, well, why don't you take up banjo? So a very one of the most amazing musicians from these parts is Craig Dobbins, and I got in touch with Craig, and he gave me banjo lessons for, I don't know, about 8 months. And so I played banjo for about the next 3 or 4 years. And, bluegrass was never of course I loved the old gospel bluegrass, but it wasn't something I just loved to do. I think I did it more for the challenge, but I didn't play banjo. Of course, I ain't picked a banjo up in years, but then I started getting more into classical guitar and and fingerstyle guitar in general, and started playing with bands here and there, and whichever genre was paying, I would play with, whether it was country, whether it was rock, whether it was, Christian music, it didn't matter. And I can luckily say I surrounded myself with a lot of great musicians. And, musicians are some of the most egotistical people in the world. I hate to say it, but they are. But I'm glad I was never in that category, because I realized that if I surround myself with musicians better than me, then I can learn from them.
Yes.
And that's all I try to do. Even today, I'm 50 years old now. Even today, I still try to surround myself with people that are better than me so I can learn from them. With music, you never stop learning. And so, I've played with, I don't know, so many different bands over the years, and but to bring you up to date, I mean, in the past probably year and a half, I've been doing solo stuff. Just me and an acoustic guitar, and that's my true love. The acoustic guitar, and so yeah, I mean that's where I'm at now. And doing a lot of TikToks, thanks to my granddaughter for talking me into that, because I had no idea what it was. But yeah, Lee Riley Music on TikTok. So there we are.
Well, awesome. Well, do you are you on YouTube as well, or just TikTok?
No, it's just mainly TikTok. I'm not a big social media guy. The whole reason I got on, like I said, TikTok is because I took a 10-year break. When I was 38, I was with a band, My Lucky Number, and my daughter come up to me and told me she was pregnant. And, it kind of made me stop and think, because we were playing music all over the place, and when she told me she was pregnant, I was like, wow, I've played music all my life. I wasn't home that much when my daughter was little, and I wanted to be there for my grandchild. And it's no secret, the things that I've went through, the drinking, the drugs, and everything else that comes along with that lifestyle. It started taking a toll on me, and so about 11 or 12 years ago, I walked away from music. I didn't touch a guitar. I wanted to be there for my grandchild, and my Blakely, she was born, and I spent every day with her, and those were some of the best years of my life. Was watching her grow up, and here she is. She's 11 now, and I guess it was about, I don't know, a year and a half, 2 years ago. She said, "Pawpaw, your love has always been music. There's this thing out there, TikTok. There's people on there who are horrible, and they have all these followers." And she said, "You are so much better than them." And I said, "Well, I don't know nothing about TikTok." And I said, "Just set it up for me, and hey, we'll do it." So, my first few TikToks, she's the one who set it up. She's the one who filmed, and so I owe that all to her. But I do need to get on YouTube. I do need to, get on the other platforms. But it's just pretty much TikTok right now. And but yeah, as I grow as a solo artist, I'm looking more into the other platforms and other options.
Right. Awesome. Well, you also write music, right? You write songs.
Yeah.
What for someone, I guess you could say a bonehead like me, how would you write an effective song?
Well, the advice I give people is to be able to write a good song. You have to know you have to know what you're writing about. It's a lot of my songs were. I think I've got probably a 150 songs copyrighted, but and some of those are co-copyrighted. But no, to write an effective song, I mean, you basically need 3 verses and a good chorus, a good hook, and maybe a bridge towards the end. And to write something that you know about, that people are going to believe when you sing it, they're going to say, "Oh." And you know, I've said I'm 50 years old. I've seen a lot of stuff in my day, and that's what I write about. Is what I see and what I've lived through. And you know, you can. I hear artists all the time singing about stuff they know nothing about, and you can just hear it that they don't know anything about it. They're just singing it. And so, yeah, I mean, to answer your question, I think the to write a good song, it takes you having to live it, you having to know what you're writing about, know what you're singing about, and when you do sing it with the passion that you can. I mean, that you know.
Oh, definitely. So you are in Gadsden, Alabama, and talk a little bit about what was it? Cure for Gravity, and Lee was with a couple other fellas, and they back in the day they would lead worship, and they would. And my dad would preach. So go a little bit on that, Lee.
Yeah, well, Cure for Gravity was it was a basically an acoustic duo with me and Ted Amberson, and which you know, Ted and I did several projects together. And the last one was with My Lucky Number, but which you know, we still have a video on YouTube today. It's My Lucky Number and The Other Hand. The name of the song is The Other Hand. But yeah, Cure for Gravity was something that we come up with. I forget which band we were playing with at the time, but we just wanted to do just us. I mean, me and him do stuff, you know. So yeah, Cure for Gravity was just basically an acoustic duo, and you know, we would play some cover songs. We would throw in, of course, you know, our original music, which, you know, our music was more based on, like I was talking about with songwriting, what you've lived, what you experienced, and you know, us, it was drug use and alcohol, and you know, I mean, just the corruption of that part of our lives. And so Cure for Gravity was basically like I say, just a duo, an acoustic duo. Me and Ted Anderson, great friends. He's an amazing artist, amazing musician, and so yeah, I mean, there for a time we did. You know, we a lot of our songs were based around, you know, even though, yeah, you did have this past, you had this past of drug use, you had this past of immortality, you had this just horrific past, but, you know, in the end, you are forgiven, and through Jesus Christ. And so, yeah, a lot of our songs were based on the way you live, the worldly living. And, you know, you've turned your back on God. But in the end, you know, God never turned his back on us. It was us that turned our backs. And so, yeah, it was just like, you know, come full circle. And, you know, and if we could, and, you know, we did. We played in bars. We we never called ourselves really a Christian band because, with our Christian-based lyrics and our Christian songs, we would also play Alice in Chains. We would play Led Zeppelin. But to keep people's attention, you've got to play something they know. And so, we were criticized. We were criticized for playing in bars, and but our thinking was, well, we're reaching people that a preacher in a suit never could.
Absolutely.
And but we were criticized for that. We were criticized for going into these, as we call it, the devil's dens. We were criticized for going into those places and speaking, singing about Jesus Christ. And of course, a lot of those bars never asked us back after after they heard what we were singing about. But that's okay. And we knew that going in, that this was a one-time deal. We're getting in there, we're going to sing about it, and we're going to get out and never be asked back. We knew that. But we've also had people come up to us after those shows and say, wow, I wasn't expecting to hear that, but thank you. Thank you for stepping out of the comfort zone. Thank you for coming into a place like this and singing about Jesus.
Right.
And so, we knew the criticism was going to come, and that was fine. We were ready for it. And, we did radio, we did television, we did, and, it was just like, okay, you can step on us if you want to. That's fine. But, we're not out to judge anybody. And, but I feel like we were judged heavily during that time. And, but yeah, we did, but Cure for Gravity was man, it was dear to my heart. And I'm sure it's dear to Ted's too. And also, the Wills brothers, they played with us. And, it was, we had a good time doing it. And, but yeah, like I said, Ted and I have been in a lot of different projects together, and man, he's like I said, he's a phenomenal artist, great musician, and always be a brother to me, and hopefully one day we'll get to work together again. So,
right. Well, my question is, what are you waiting for?
It's everyday life. I've got so busy with all these different projects I'm doing. With weddings and funerals, and of course my own solo stuff and writing, and a lot of the I'm playing a lot. And I'm thankful for that. And I've my brother's played a few shows with me, which is amazing. Clay, he's played a few shows with me, I'm just really at this point in my life, I'm just focusing on my career, my music. And like I said, I'm doing more writing now, and see where it goes. And spend a lot more time practicing. And that's something else. If I could tell a 15, 20, 25-year-old me, I would have spent more time. I would have spent more time practicing. And I did practice a lot. So don't get me wrong. I did practice a lot, but it wasn't quality practice. It was, let me hurry up and learn this and then get out there so I could play it instead of spending the quality time behind the doors learning it to perfection and then getting out there and doing it. So these days I'm more I'm more patient as far as practice goes. It may take me a lot longer to get something down, but I'm going to have it right before I play it live. So, yeah.
Right.
So I've got more patience in my old age.
Oh, man. Now, whenever you go to play, like in wherever, what during transitions, what do you do? Do you speak, or do you noodle around, or how do you do that?
Are you talking about like in between each song, or?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean it depends. It depends on the crowd. It depends on how I'm feeling. A couple of weeks ago I was playing a show and I was sick. I did not feel good at all. But I think in my 30-year music career, I think I've only canceled twice. So, that's not if somebody books me to play, me canceling is not an option unless it is an emergency of some sort. But I was so sick, and, I got up there and I didn't speak. I did tell everybody I'm sick, I'm not feeling good, but I got up there and I played the songs. Right after the next song, I'd go into the next one. But like I said, it's kind of based on the crowd, too. If they're energetic, if they're into it, I will do more talking. I will, get them more, to get them to participate a little more. Especially if it's a song they know, I will ask, y'all sing along. I need y'all to sing loud because this is going out to the world. This is being, TikTok live. So,
yeah.
But yeah, I just, no show is, especially my shows, no show is the same. This really depends on, I guess, the day I've had is how much I talk between songs. But I know people come there, people come to listen to music. They don't come to listen to me talk, and I try to be cognizant of that.
Right. Now that is true, yes. Well, Lee, it has been 20 minutes. We never want these to be too terribly long.
Yeah.
But maybe in the future we can set this up again.
Yeah, that sounds good. And just Lee Riley Music. If you're on TikTok or like I said, I think my Instagram is Lee Riley Music Official. And of course I'm on Facebook. I think it's just Lee Riley. I need to get them all the same, but but TikTok is my number one thing. I just hit over, I think I just went over 2,000 followers, and so that means a lot. I mean, I mainly do cover songs on there. I'm about to start doing more originals, but I got to wait for the copyright and all that stuff too. All the politics and red tape. Just to play your music, you got to cover your rear end these days. So,
right.
But yeah, them are just Lee Riley Music.
Awesome. And are you on Apple, iTunes?
No, I'm not on Spotify or Apple right now.
Okay.
But that's coming. I've got somebody. I've got somebody that's handling all that knows what they're doing, because I don't. I'm just a musician, and
right.
so
right.
yeah. But yeah, I will be on Apple Music, Spotify here in the near future.
Okay, cool. Well, Lee, I sure do appreciate it, and
thank you. I mean, I want to say that I've known you for, you and Greg and your mom. I've known y'all for many years, many years. Y'all have always been so kind and so kind to me and to us, and I do appreciate y'all's friendship throughout the years.
yes, sir. And and the thing is, I mean, here's the thing. All jokes aside, it's not just to reach out to someone that you really look up to, really just and them, talk to you, listen. That really means a lot, and I just want to kind of step off here and say thank you for taking the time for chatting with me.
Yeah, well,
means a lot.
Like I said, if I can give back in any way, that's what I try to do, because I feel like God's blessed me throughout the years, and whatever I can do to give back, that's what I'm going to do.
Excellent. Well, Lee, if you're ever in the Kansas City, Kansas area, look me up and we'll get together, brother.
I sure will.
Yes.
That sounds good, and I appreciate it.
Yes, sir, and we will talk to you later, brother.
All right. Thanks a lot.
All right, bye.
Bye-bye.